Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and I've got some news to report that I don't necessarily want to report. I mean, it's always discouraging to report things like this. I mean, it's one thing when Uber does this because we expect them to, but when Lyft does it, it's a little disappointing because Lyft is supposed to be the good guys. They're the ones who like the drivers, and then there are times when you read stories like this, it just shows that, yeah, you know what? In the world of business, you gotta do what you gotta do. And Lyft has announced that they are partnering with a company called NuTonomy, and you can read the article below, of course, that they are going to be partnering with them to bring autonomous vehicles to the road. And within a few months, they plan to test out the program in Boston. So in a few months, you can apparently hail one of these autonomous Lyft vehicles in Boston. And they want the majority of their fleet to be autonomous by 2021. Now, of course, I know why they're doing this, because this is one of the things that's getting the investment money rolling in. I mean, even though the Lyft and Uber services can be profitable with human drivers, and in fact, I would argue they would be way more profitable with human drivers, they aren't. And a large part of that is because the rates are so low, but they can't raise the rates. Uber would kill them. So to keep getting investment money, they've got to invest in this scary new technology that investors like the idea of, even if the rest of the public is, it's kind of up in the air. To be honest, most of the people I know do not trust autonomous vehicles. They don't believe the reports for a second that they are more safe when there's no driver in the car. They don't want them. They don't think they'll ever want them. Honestly, the only people I know and I have met that want autonomous vehicles are the people who have a lot of money and who can't seem to have anything else to do with their time other than to get drunk on Friday nights. I don't know. And I mean, now some people in the comments in the past have stated they're coming and I want them and everyone's going to want these. I don't know what their thinking is. The average person I talk to doesn't want them. Mechanics I talk to say they aren't happening in the next 3 years. They're not happening in 20 years probably. And the only people who really seem to push for these cars to be on the road tomorrow are Uber, Lyft, General Motors, and Tesla and Apple. And by the way, let's talk about General Motors, because Lyft now has partnerships with General Motors, Google through their Waymo division, and now NuTonomy. Is that what it's called? That is a very weird NuTonomy. They now have partnerships with all three of these companies to bring autonomous vehicles. And it's because Lyft is not going to make the cars themselves. They're just launching autonomous vehicles with their brand. And this is actually in some ways way more dangerous than what Uber is doing. Because Uber is developing the cars, but they will own the cars. Lyft is lending out their service to the other companies making the cars. And if these cars ever got finished to the point where they function the way they are supposed to on a grand scale, I don't see any of these companies keeping Lyft around. Why have a middleman? They could just have a service themselves. Heck, today I got an email from Waze about Waze Carpool. And Waze is owned by Google, so you already know Google is gonna do their own ride-sharing service once they have the cars and the technology in place. I don't think they want to deal with drivers, but they have if they ever get the technology, they're going to launch it themselves. They won't need Lyft or Uber. So, and again, I am not concerned about this. I am reporting the news. I am telling you what is happening. And I don't want to ignore a story just because I don't think anything's going to come from it. I don't think anything's going to come from this. No, I do believe we're going to get a couple driverless cars on the road in Boston, but they're not going to hit a grand scale. They're certainly not going to be ready by 2021, but, you know, whatever. This is something that drivers do have to keep in mind, though, is that these companies are pushing for them. They're pushing for them at the very least because it gets them funding. So drive while you can, enjoy it while you can. Who knows in 5 years? I don't know. In 5 years, if these things do take off, the entrepreneur will have to be giving you advice on how you can make money elsewhere. But the good news is, like, if you're like me and you are an entrepreneur, you are adaptable. Entrepreneurs tend to be very adaptable. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. So, I don't know. What do you folks think? Does this news surprise you, disappoint you? I would love to know. Oh, do you think the cars are going to be here by 2021? Love to know that one. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I'm making, please consider becoming a Patreon or buying some swag from the Great Media Universe store to help support the site and the videos. And as always, flame responsibly. #BelieveUber.